Austin, hey guys, how you doing? Hit some heart buttons, Albert. Oh, hey Cheryl, Austin, Texas in the house. Wow, you guys are everywhere.
Uh-huh.
Indianapolis, I'm there once a year for the 500.
Hi.
Hey, will you do me a huge favor and first, I love you, and turn off your camera and put it on mute because we're gonna record this and use it for yeah, awesome. Thank you. Okay, everybody, how's everybody doing? I'm glad to be with you guys this morning. It's 10 a.m. here at my house, and today is the first time I've ever done a Zoom class. I do tons of them, but at my home in my living room. And I'm like one of those early birds. I was kind of starting to feel a little festive last week, and I put up my tree. And I kind of want to show you guys my tree a little closer. So I made a Pravana tree today. So I don't know. I kind of nerd out about this kind of stuff, but yeah, yeah, it was a cute idea. Welcome. My name is Becky Betts. For those that don't know me, I'm from Salt Lake City, Utah. I've been an educator with Pravana 9 years, and I just love it. I get to travel coast to coast. I've literally been from LA to New York this year, teaching and educating, and I would say I've just enjoyed myself so much meeting. I've met hundreds of hairstylists this year, and I just love to connect. I really love digital classes because look at us. We're all over the nation right now joining for 1 hour of education, and I'm just really excited for that. So I wanted to kind of get into all things blonding. I love blonding. There's a lot of aspects to blonding, and I'm going to just kind of start with a little product knowledge just because I want you guys to fully understand our whole blonding arsenal, okay? So this is our Pravana book. This is our swatch book. This is our newest one. I have given a few of these away this year, and it makes me sad because this is my last one, so I better hold on to it pretty close. So I wanted to talk about our book. I always like to talk about our book because you guys, if you don't have this one, you have one. And if you guys are wanting a book, you can get them in kits from like Cosmoprof and things like that. They are included with your Cosmoprof kit. Okay. They're very big tools. Me as like somebody that works behind the chair for the past 14 years, I still use this book. I like to get back to basics often and just kind of remember things. Sometimes even me, I have like brain farts, I guess you would say. So I really like to just get back to basics. This first page is going to be very influential when it comes to blonding because you have our levels, and Pravana is a 1 to 10 level system. So we only have levels 1 to 10 on our colors, but it has our level system, and then it has the underlining pigment, and then it has what to neutralize those underlining pigments with. I think when we're diving into blonding, it's very, very, very important to know our underlining pigments. So I actually have bigger ones. I'm kind of a nerd when it comes to this, guys, so just go with it. But underlining pigments are a big deal to me because without knowing those, my consultations and things like that are they really are harder. So the more you know about underlining pigments, levels, what to neutralize these with, the easier and softer hair that we're doing, right? It's going to be easier. Our consultation is going to go smoother. Our days are going to go smoother and all of the things, right? So right here, we'll start down here. This is going to be what your underlining pigment is going to be with like, it's going to be bright orange. It's going to be an orange red for, 1 to 4. 5, it's going to be more of this orange. 5 to 4, 4 to 5. You're going to have some of this yellow orange the higher you get up, right? And underlining pigment. What is underlining pigment? I've gotten that question asked to me. I teach at a lot of beauty schools, and they're learning the fundamentals, right? They're learning the basics, so they aren't quite sure. So underlining pigment, the easiest way to explain underlining pigment is what is going to be exposed after a lightning service. Like after we do the highlights, after we do the balayage, what's going to be that underlining pigment? and that is underlining pigment. So that's going to be the underlining pigment of the hair after a lightning service, right? So I like this one the most. I talk about this one the most. And this is going to be your level 9 underlining pigment. So I call this, in all my classes, I don't know why I do this, but the inside of a banana peel, right? And so we're going to be doing this a lot with blondings, level, 8 to 10. This is what's going to be exposed. And I'm going to just show you some of our products that are going to help you guys neutralize those underlining pigments, right? So I thought I'd just make it a little bigger for everybody. Hey, I'm surprised I didn't have a full balloon arch, because I've done an underlining pigment class on a Zoom and I had a full underlining pigment balloon arch. It was amazing. But it's the holidays and I really just didn't have time to do that. But maybe this spring when I'm a little slower, I'll do an underlining pigment arch. But there's those, right? So there's that again right there in our book, right? So when you're dealing with underlining pigment, and I'm going to talk education and go through like some of the things that we offer to help you with a better blonding service, right? So we have the hydro gloss, and I will touch on that in just a minute, but I really want to go to our express toners. Our express toners are in the book right up front. Boom. There's our express tones. So our express tones are amazing at underlining pigment from levels 7 to 10. So who is used, I want to see, this has been brought up a lot in my classes this year, and I've really just been paying attention to what people are not using our products correctly. So just with hearts, questions, let's dive into our underline, our express tones, okay? So ask away if you have any questions, hit some likes if you use our express tones, tell me if you're scared of them, and all the things, right? Because I'm about to dive into your express tones. So express tones, we have beige, pearl, ash, smoky, silver, and violet, right? And then you see one in there, it's clear. So when we're dealing with express tones and underlining pigment, we have made it easier, softer way. I'm a big, work smarter, not harder type of person, right? So here's all those shades, just kind of out of the book so you guys can see them, So when you take these out of the tube, they're going to deposit at a level 7, right? Most of the time when you have a lot of toners, a lot of color lines will have a lot of toners. We've just kind of simplified it in just a few, like a handful. And the way that we get to play with these is magical, for one, and then really simple as soon as you understand them. So they're going to come out of the tube pigmented at a level 7. So they'll neutralize in the first 5 minutes on a level 7. That's your pure, that's just first 5 minutes, level 7 straight out of the tube. They're going to neutralize, right? So if you have them on any longer, they're going to start actually depositing tone, more pigment. So they're progressive, right? So after 5 minutes, you really need to watch that. But if you're going for a violet, go for the violet, right? So just so you know, they're progressive, but you only need them on a level 7 for 5 minutes, right? So how do we get this to a level 8? A lot of the people tell me they scare me, they go, I'm like, well, what level are you putting them on? And are you using them straight out of the tube? And they're usually using a violet, all of them straight out of the tube on a level 9 underlining pigment, which is the inside of a banana peel. So they're getting really frustrated. So that's why we have clear. So the way we dilute these is going to be a really less stressing situation behind the chair when we're working. It gives us more time for application so we can have more of a consistent root to end blonding service, right? Because I know when I'm hustling and I'm trying to get it on, I'm going to miss places. So the way we're going to dilute this, and this is something that you might want to write down. Whenever I'm in my classes on this swatch, I always write down the percentages. So level 7 straight out of the tube, or their level 7 deposit straight out of the tube. If you have a level 8, it's going to be 25% of clear and 75% of pigment. A level 9 is going to be 50-50. So you're going to do 50% pigment, that's 50% express tone and 50% clear. And on a level 10, you're going to do 25% express tone and 75% clear. And you're going to mix these 1.5 part express tones to 1 part or 1.5 parts developer, 0 lift developer to 1 part. Shit, I said that wrong. Oh, I just cussed too. Sorry, Sam. So you're gonna do 1 to 1.5. So 1 part pigment to 1.5 part 0 lift developer. Okay, these are demi-permanent, ammonia-free, so they're only going to be deposit only, right? So you're not going to get a base shift or anything like that. So now that I've explained that, do you guys have any questions about the express tones? I usually cuss once or twice, and I apologize, but it's never big ones. Okay, you guys, so we just launched the Platinum Series. Platinum Series, you bet I can, Melinda. Okay, so Melinda's asked me if I can repeat the percentages again, and I think that's really great because if you didn't get it the first time, you'll get it this time. So straight out of the tube, they're going to deposit at a level 7. They're going to neutralize a level 7. A level 8, you're going to need 25% of clear and 75% of express tones. A level 9 is 50-50. So it's going to be 50% express tone, 50% 0 lift developer. And a level 10, it's going to be 25% express tones and 75% 0 lift developer. Okay, so okay, so does anybody have any more questions on express tones? Because I'm here to help. I really want to just dive into this and make sure that we understand express tones because I don't want you to get frustrated. I want you to use them as like you're in love with them, right? So that's a great question. Tiffany just asked if the processing time is always 5 minutes, and the answer is no. So normally they will neutralize within 5 minutes. So if you're using your clear and you're using your pigment, usually it will neutralize at 5 minutes. But if you want added tone and if you want to do more, they are a progressive color, right? So they will progress. And I actually have a mannequin head. Well, actually, it's a wig that I did that I want to show you guys. If you do leave them on for 20 minutes, what they will do. But yeah, 5 minutes, around 5 minutes, they will start neutralizing, but you can always push them a little further because they are progressive. Great question. So the longevity, if you're using the Pravana shampoo and conditioner, we've actually tested them 30 likes. Or 30 likes. Okay. 30 washes. So up to 30 washes. They last a long time. The thing is they're going in and they're healing that hair as they're neutralizing it. They're not making it drier. They're not doing anything. So Pravana is really awesome. And this is how I always educate. You're definitely welcome, Tiffany. So the way I educate now, like back in the day, we used to like lighten the hair, leave the cuticle open, wash it once, and then we would tone, and then we would condition. Well, we've done a lot of research since then, and the healthier the hair is, the more longevity of the color is going to last. So now what I do behind the chair is I wash the hair twice, just making sure all the lightener residue is removed from the hair, and then I actually condition before I do the toners, and then I'll do the toners, and my toners last a really long time. My clients are coming in probably 6 weeks for a refresh. So I think that's very good. And then we also have the purple shampoo and conditioner with the blonding mask as well. And I'll show you guys that too for them to, use at home. You can sell it to them behind the chair and that will help with their longevity as well. So the underlining pigment will always pop back in, right? So, but yeah, the longevity is up to 30 washes. We've tested it if they're using our Pravana Care system. So great question. Okay, you guys. So right here we have, that's the express tones. And I'm going to keep holding this swatch because I still want to talk about the express tones when I'm talking about the platinum toners. So our platinum toners are formulated just for level 910. And when we first launched them, we launched Lilac, Platinum Sand, and Platinum Smoke. Since this swatch, we've launched Platinum Blush, Platinum Gold, and Platinum Spice. So I have those with me and I'll show you what those look like just because they're not on here, but they're just very beautiful and they're formulated for level 9, 10. These are going to be the same, you guys. So they're going to neutralize within 5 minutes. With these, they are formulated for level 9, 10. So you don't need to add clear, but within 5 minutes, after 5 minutes, they will start to depositing more color. On my Instagram, I'm the Blonding Rebel. If you guys want to go check out my work, if you scroll down, I use Platinum Spice a lot for that beautiful, like, pumpkin color. I've left it on for 20 minutes and it literally was the most beautiful color I've ever used. So with these, you can really get creative with them if you leave them on a little bit longer than 5 minutes. But if you're just wanting to neutralize, I know that a lot of feedback that I've gotten this year on the new Platinum Spice and Platinum Blush, those are going to be deposit only for 5 minutes, neutralize, do their deal, and then they'll wash them. I feel like we're washing too soon with the Platinum Blush and the Platinum Spice because you guys are really wanting to see those pinky tones and peachy tones. So I always recommend in my classes that you guys kind of let them roll a little bit longer. With like lighter colors, they're going to fade faster. So even when I'm doing like a vivid service and they want a pastel look, I always ask them to go a little darker because that way the longevity of the color is going to last a little bit longer. And that's what I also ask my clients, because a lot of the times when we're neutralizing color behind the chair, and they're blondie blonde and you really don't want them to call you in a few days and say they see yellow, So you want to leave those toners on a little bit longer to add more of that pigment so your clients are more happy in a couple weeks, you know what I mean? So that's just kind of a little pro tip that I do behind the chair is just kind of let my toners roll a little bit longer. Even if they do see a little bit more ash or violet in them, just assure them that it's beautiful. I mean, you don't want to leave a blonde with violet hair. Like that's a big no-no, but just let them roll a little bit longer than you would, right? And I always say that with the lightener too. A lot of people are washing, a lot of stylists are washing their lightener out. And keep in mind, I'm in a lot of beauty schools. I'm in a lot of salons that have new stylists. And I know a lot of them get worried and they wash their lightener off too soon and they're not getting to the levels of lift that they need to do. So you really need to trust the process. And that's as well as with the toners as well. So just kind of trust that process. So just another fun thing about the platinum toners and the express tones is that you can intermix these. Since the platinum toners are a deposit of a level 9, 10, and these are a deposit of 7 to 10, 7 out of the tube, but using clear, you can get to a 10. You can use these as a replacement for clear and or mix and match. So you can mix a violet with an ash and have a beautiful tone. You can do sand and beige. You can do all the different colors and mix them to get your favorite formulas. If you guys would definitely let me know what your favorite formulas are. If you're familiar with the express tones and the platinum toners in the comments, I would love to know your guys' favorite toner formulas and I'll try them out. So put those back in my book. And then I wanted to show you this wig that I created for a hair show last year in Texas. And this is our express tones and our platinum toners. And these are left on for 20 minutes, right? So here you have the smoky silver express tone. It's just a really beautiful smoky silver. And this mannequin head was it's not a mannequin, it's wig. I was just about to tell you that, Tommy. It was starting level like 9, 10. So it was like kind of like on the border of like a 10 and an underlining pigment of a banana peel. So it was about a level 9, 10. So great question, Tommy. So these were all deposited on that level for 20 minutes. So I just got creative with it. So we spice. We have the violet right here. I'm going to take this off of this stand. So you can see the violet is up here around the face. We have the spice right here. We have the blush right here. I think I left a little underlining pigment in there, Tommy. Just kind of rolled with it to give it more dimension. So there's the starting level right there. So it's just beautifully, you can really see it underneath here, how beautiful those express tones and platinum toners can get. Okay, so thank you. So is there any questions about our toners? Up to how long would you leave it on? So that's a great question, Tommy. Tommy asked, how long do I leave the express tones and the platinum toners on? So they're progressive color. So just keep that in mind when you're using them. They neutralize up to 5 minutes, but you can really get creative if you leave them on up to 20 minutes. So great question. Okay, is there any other questions about that? Okay, awesome. I tend to over explain things, so there's not a lot of questions, but okay, we have an arsenal of blonding tools that we can use behind the chair. We have 3 different types of lighteners. I'll get into that here in a little bit. And then we have our express tones, but we also have high lifts. And those are our ChromaSilk high lifts. I love this chart. I'm going to take this out. So when these launched, I didn't know anything about high lifts. I've been a hairstylist for 14 years, so it wasn't just really in my realm of knowing things. So I'd always like lighten and tone, and that's how I'd get the things. But then we launched the ChromaSilk high lifts, and I was the one that got to do like the get the look on it. So I really had to study high lifts, what they did, what they meant, and I really, really loved them. I use these a lot of different kinds of ways, but first I wanted to show you kind of the the chart here, right? So it has our levels right here. We recommend doing it on like a level 6 to 10, 9. Why would we don't really have a level 10. So 6 to 9. This is going to be your underlining pigment, this right here. So this is a really good thing for even me to look at is figure out in my consultation what level they are, what their underlining pigment's going to be, and what color I'm going to use, what high lift I'm going to use to create that beautiful high lift color, right? So I love this tool. This is an amazing tool. You can use those with 3040 and yeah, they're just beautiful underlying pigments. A couple of ways that I would use these is, of course, for my root retouches with my clients that don't want to use lightener. You can use them on virgin hair. You cannot use these on colored hair. Why? Because color doesn't lift color. It will neutralize, but it won't lift, right? But before a vivid service, if I have somebody that doesn't want lightener and they have virgin hair, I mean that unicorn, right? That client that literally is perfect, and she doesn't want to use lightener. This is a good tool to get to that underlining pigment I want before I do my vivid service. So these are really a useful tool. Okay, so does anybody have any questions on our high lifts? Or are you guys a lot like me and just kind of lighten and tone? Either way is just fine, definitely. But I was really glad that I got that because I really want to learn all things. And so when I have an opportunity to learn and grow, I always take the opportunity. So when they're like, hey, we want you to do the get the look with the new high lifts, I first got scared, but then it was awesome and I went with it and I learned a lot. So if you guys don't have any other questions about I lighten and tone, but want to start using high lifts. Yeah, I use these in gray hair to blonde. Yeah, that's a good way to use them, Cheryl. I color a lot of locks. Yes. I am not a lock specialist, but I have heard that lightener actually helps bring those locks in. So I'm not sure. That's just kind of what I've heard. Yeah, high lifts could help. I'm not sure how they would do because I've never used the high lifts on locks, but definitely if you do that, please let me know how it goes. But I have heard that the lightener, like the bleach lightener, actually works really well with locks. Did somebody say yes, Lillian? I was curious if they worked on locks, definitely. Yeah, Melinda, maybe you would know. Have you heard that if you use lightener on locks, if it tightens the locks better and, gets them all in? But that's just something that's so above my pay grade, and I shouldn't even be talking about it today because I don't want to do any miscommunication. That's just what I've heard on the street. So, okay. So please let me know, Lillian, if you do that. And Melinda, I would love to know your feedback on the high lifts with the locks. So cool. All right. So we have 3 different lighteners. So we have the ultra lightener, the power lightener, and we have the cream lightener. So the first is going to be our power lightener. Power lightener is our blue-based power, like our blue-based lightener. You can use it up to 55 minutes. It lifts up to 7 levels. They say it's our go-to lightener, and it just is a magical lift up to 7 levels of lift. It's just kind of a good thing. You mix it 1 part lightener to 3 parts developer of your choice. We do not recommend 30 or 40 on the scalp, and we do not recommend putting under a dryer. So just kind of go low and slow. Definitely when I'm using any type of lightener, I do step it up. I am getting a little faster as I, progress in my career. So I don't really have to do a step up a lot unless they're getting like, a full head of highlights and they have a lot of hair. But I definitely would always start with a lower developer and work your way up to that last section. That's just a little pro tip I've learned. Another thing too, if it is taking you a little bit longer to highlight, make sure you're remixing your lightener, right? So it processes up to 55 minutes. So if you're on your last section and you have some in the bowl, but you've been foiling for about 45 minutes, you're going to want to ditch that lightener in the bowl and you're going to want to remix. I always say remix every 20 minutes. Just that way you're getting the power around the whole head, right? So if you're using lightener that's been in the bowl 55 minutes, it is not going to do its job in this last section. It's not going to lift to the underlying pigment that you need. So make sure that you're lifting or mixing every 20 minutes some new lightener. And a suggestion with that is mix less. So I would mix like 30 grams of lightener each time you go and mix. That way you're not being wasteful. So, and then that's just a little pro tip, 30 grams. And yeah, just a little pro tip. Thanks, Tiff. I love thumbs up and stuff. Since I can't see your guys' vibe, I love it if you guys send me emojis if you like what I said or hated what I said. And then always ask a question if you need me to say it a different kind of way, right? So then we have our blonding cream. Our blonding cream is an amazing tool. I use my blonding cream when I have finer hair that I don't think that can handle like the power lightener or things like that. I also really like to use my cream lightener on textured hair. Textured hair, you really need to be careful when you're lightening it because we know that if you put a lightener on textured hair, it's going to kind of loosen up those curls. And a lot of clients just want to keep their curls. They want to keep their texture. So I revert to my cream lightener when I'm doing textured hair, fine hair, really good for color corrections. If I have a client that's new to me and she went to another stylist like a couple weeks ago, her hair probably can't handle a regular, power lightener, then I'm going to always revert to my cream lightener. But as a professional, I probably usually just do a color overlay and wait for that 6 weeks for the hair to heal from that previous lightening service. So I'm really adamant on keeping the hair healthy. So you mix this 1 part cream lightener to 2 parts of your developer of choice. We still don't recommend 30-40 on the scalp, and we still don't recommend heat under a dryer or anything like that. So these are things that will just process at room temperature up to 55 minutes. Same suggestion on this as this, that only is going to have that processing power for 55 minutes. So we really want to make sure that we're remixing every 20 minutes. And then we have my favorite, it's an ultra lightener. With the cream lightener, it does lift up to 9 levels. So you really do have that power to lift to the levels that you really need. And so it's a really good tool, the cream lightener. So the ultra lightener is my favorite. The ultra lightener lifts up to, thanks Tommy. The ultra lightener lifts up to 9 levels as well. I love the consistency of the ultra lightener. Do I need a 20 volume every time I use the ultra lightener? I absolutely do not. It lifts up to 9 levels. It's a very, very powerful calming. This lightener is very healthy for the hair. It has not bond builders in it, but it has nutrients in it that will keep the hair healthy and not damaged. So if I have a level 7, she wants to be a level 10. I do not need a 20 developer. I just use a 10 and I just go low and slow with the ultra lightener. I really love the creamy consistency of it. I'm going to use it today to show you a couple techniques just really quick here at the end of this video, and you'll see how I use the ultra lightener and the consistency of it. You mix this 1 part ultra lightener to 2 parts of your developer of choice, and this is going to be the same as this. Processes up to 55 minutes, not under a dryer, and so on, right? And then we already talked about our high lifts. So now, with all that being said, is there any questions about our lighteners? Which lightener would you use in a balayage? You can use any of our lighteners in a balayage. I know that we got used to the clay lighteners and things like that, but with the ultra lightener and the power lightener, you can definitely use both of them. I feel like the consistency of mixing them, 1 part power lightener to 3 parts developer, you still have that beautiful consistency of that lightener that you need to feather up in. I use the ultra lightener 1 to 2. It's not runny, you guys. It's a perfect consistency for highlights, balayage, global blonding, all of the things. So me personally, my professional, like me using all the lighteners behind the chair, I use the ultra lightener for my balayages because we're taking bigger sections with our balayages. So I'm kind of wanting that more of a powerful lift. And so it lifts up to 9 levels. The power lightener lifts up to 7 levels. So me personally, when I'm balayaging, I use the ultra lightener just to get more of that lift. So I hope that answered your question. Okay, if there isn't any more questions about any of our bonding products, I just kind of wanted to show you some things that I've learned that it might be beneficial for you guys behind the chair. And I know it was for me this year teaching so much. I think this year alone I've been on like 40 airplanes. So it's been a wild year for me. So I've asked a lot of questions in all the classes. And a lot of the times I get questions like, I get bleed marks, like, why is it bleeding? And so I give them like little pro tips to help with bleeding. Just like, what would you do? What would you do for this? What would you do for that? Right? So I'm going to just kind of show you a couple of things that I use behind the chair that might help you guys with bleed marks or application and things like that. So I really wanted to start with this mannequin head. And this mannequin head is actually our class that we taught this year. This was our blonding class that you could take in person. My friend Mel did this class. It's a beautiful class. And I just kind of wanted to show you what it turned out to be like so you can see what Pravana offers on hands-in classes. So we just did a beautiful highlight for the mohawk section, and then back here we took diagonal back sections perfectly, so it just perfectly blends. So this is the mannequin head that we taught you guys this year for our blonding essentials class for our hands on, and I just kind of wanted to show you how beautiful it was. So I want to just kind of get into it. I might bring you guys in a little closer so you guys can see. I wonder if that will go. Okay. You guys see that okay, or should I bring you down a little bit more? I feel like it's super low. Maybe I'll bring it down. Okay. All right, guys. So I want you guys to be able to see this because I think it's really important to continue learning, right? So for me, I I don't know about you guys, but I really thought about this when the kids were going back to school and they would show up with their inspiration photos, their AI inspiration photos. And then I really was just so happy for my education that I had. So I was able to kind of get all of the things that they wanted. And I'm just going to kind of show you that. Sorry, guys, I'm messing with my stand just to make sure it's perfect so you guys can definitely see. So with this, I already have my developer and my ultra lightener already mixed up. And I just kind of want to show you guys how your guys are going to. This is very important, guys. So a lot of the times I hear a lot that, I mix my lightener and then it just swells. Have you ever had that? This will help with the swelling of lightener. And this goes with every lightener. This isn't just PRAVANA lightener. This is just lightener in general. But we don't want to use the whisks that we use for color when we're, mixing our lightener. We really just want to fold in that lightener and just kind of mix it slowly and just fold that in. We don't want to beat the crap out of it because that's what's going to make it swell. It's going to slow in your bowl and it's going to swell in your foils as well. I love the consistency of this. It's just like so creamy and just amazing. So I'm just gonna kind of show you like a highlight, how I highlight, like weave and tease, things like that. We'll just do. Good tip, thank you. You're welcome, Melinda. You're awesome. Where are you at, Melinda? I used a Zero Lift Developer with this just because I'm not really wanting to go fast to Grandma's house today. I just kind of wanted to show you guys. South Carolina, nice. I wonder who's out that way. I know we have a lot of East Coasters. I'm just using Zero Lift today. Like I said, you can intermix all of our lighteners with any developer of your choice. And since we're just here on a mannequin head, I just use Zero Lift Developer. So. All right, guys. Let's kind of get into it. I'm just going to take this section here and show you right here, just kind of starting down here. Kind of moving that away. I'm going to have my client just kind of move her head a little bit. The first one I'm going to show you guys is going to be a baby light. So when you're lighting hair, you really want to do small sections. This is a good pro tip as well. So if you're really wanting to lighten a lot of levels, take smaller sections. So this is going to be an eighth inch section that you can see really well through, right? If you're wanting a sun-kissed look, you can take a bigger section. Just make sure you're saturating completely because you don't want spots throughout your highlight, right? So this is going to be a baby light. For me, I always make sure that I fold my tail backwards like this because it gives me extra kind of like support, right? So I always hold with my left hand. If you're a right hand person or a left hand person, do the opposite of me. But taut, I really want that to be tight because I want this to go as close to the scalp as possible. I slide up my rat tail comb up and out, right? So it's pretty secure to the head. And then I'm going to take my lightener and I'm going to put it like right about a ½ inch away from the scalp. I'm going to come down here. I guess the worst part about working at home is the dogs in the neighborhood seeing a cat. So if that's annoying, I'm so sorry. So when I'm lightening, I really want to make sure that I'm saturating like amazingly. I tend to use more lightener than most. And I've realized that when I was teaching my classes this year, my hands-on classes, because when I was running out of lightener, they still had a little left. But I always make sure that I saturate. I roll the hair back and forth, just making sure that I get all those hairs with lightener. And then I have this section right here. So I still have some lightener on my brush. I'm just going to kind of lighten up into that root base just to make sure, because like if you're going up and you're just plopping on the color right there, see all that right there? That first is going to create a hard line, but not only that, it's going to bleed. That's your bleeder right there. You're using too much product at the top of the foil, so that's why you're going to get those bleeders. So that's why I always suggest to come down about a ½ inch, get this all saturated. You'll still have lightener on your brush, and then you're going to just lightly feather up into that to that root, right? So whatever you have on your foil, that's how it's going to look. You know, your lightener, that's how it's going to look. So with me, I'm only a 1 fold upper. I'm not an origami stylist. I just fold once. And then I tuck that under my tail. Oh, those dogs are they're gonna kill me. They're gonna kill me. Can you guys hear that, or is it just me? Well, anyways, I'm sorry. So I'm going to leave that like that. So I could, if I wanted to encapsulate, but I'm not going to do that because I'm the stylist that will fold it once, save me 20 minutes in origami my foils. So I'm working faster behind the chair, so I'm making more revenue, right? If I'm sitting here and I'm folding this up and then I'm folding the sides, that's taking more time out of my service. So what I'll do is I'll do about, 5, 10 of these, and then I'll go and I'll just fold the sides together like that all together. So if we have time to do that, I will show you that little trick. I mean, I think it looks cool on like Instagram. Okay, guys. So on this one, let's just do like a wider highlight, right? And what we're gonna do is just a bigger highlight. And if you guys want me to show you like a certain thing that you've been wondering about, like a weave and tease, or hey Becky, what is a tip out? I got that question a lot this year. Is what's a tip out? So I can show you what a tip out after I get done with this. Okay. So this is going to be the same thing that I did with the baby light. So it might be a little the same suggestions. Oh my gosh. I use the side of my brush a lot when I'm feathering and just making sure that that feather is good. Okay, so that's basically like the baby light. It's just a wider highlight. So that's the thing that you can do. And that's just your digression. Like a baby light, that's going to cover more hair. That's going to make it a blonder effect, right? If you do more of a wide highlight or like, a heavier highlight, that's just going to give you more of a lived in look and not as blonde, right? And then I'm going to show you a slice. I'm going to leave this section out just so I can show you guys what a tip out is. So when you're doing slices, you also want to make sure that it's 1/8 inch sections just so you can see and that you can see through it, right? You're really wanting to get that saturation. Can we just appreciate that I'm like in the full Christmas spirit already? And that's ridiculous because I have like my whole family coming here for Thanksgiving and they're going to show up to Winter Wonderland and not like turkeys. Thank you, Melinda, for laughing at that. Yeah, like what am I doing right now? I have no idea. So this is just going to be a slice. We're going to take it, 1/8 section. We're going to slide out our rat tail up and out. I'm still keeping it taut on the foil so it's not slipping. And then I'm going to grab my lightener and I'm just going to apply it right up here at the base to secure it to the foil. And I'm going to come down here and do the same thing I did with the baby lights. A lot of the times I will do a fine slice. If they want to be a bright blonde, I will go in and do a fine slice, but I need to make sure that it's a diagonal back slice. With slices, you don't really want to go in and do a slice because you don't want that harsh line. But if you kick it back at like a diagonal slice, it's going to be better. So vertical, diagonal back, diagonal forward, it's just going to be better. And I do a lot of that. I do a lot of diagonal back slices. That was in our class this year. And it's very helpful to know if you do it like vertical like this or horizontal like this, it's going to have that harsh line up at the top, even though I'm feathering up. But if you do want to do this as well, this is your creative freedom. This is the way we learn. Always make sure you do a baby light right over the top of it to help with the blend, right? Okay, guys, now I'm going to show you a weave and tease. This is going to help diffuse the line for a more lived-in look. So I'm just going to do a weave. I mean, this is very self-explanatory what a weave and tease is, but let me show you how to do a tease that doesn't get tangled in the shampoo bowl, right? Like that's the thing. Like we'll sit and just tease it, tease it, tease it, and then we'll wash it, but we really want to detangle that so our client isn't like mad as hell at us, right? So I always take it very taut right down here, which means, firm. I feel like the more we pull our client's hair, the happier they're going to be with the color. So just pull away, just kidding. So I bring my fingers down here at the end, and I'm going to want a lot of tease on this. I want it really to be like a lived in look that's blended. So I'm going to just take my comb, and just go up once. So you can see the tease is up here. And then sometimes, you'll see this online, they'll secure that tease up here with their comb, and then they'll come in with their foil. I don't really do that because I like to have control with my. So make sure that tease is out of your foil. You're going to deposit the color the same as you do the baby lights, just to help. And I will show you how this is going to be a really bold, beautiful look. This is going to be more of your lived in look. And it's going to create a lot of dimension, but infusion. So it's going to be very infused line. So you can see that right there. It's not a problem. I'm just going to go over. Okay, now if you're wanting to create more dimension, this is another teasy application that you can do. If you want to have more of a bold look, you can do a slice and a tease. And we'll do that on this one. So we're just going to keep a slice and we're going to tease this. And then we're going to just freehand paint. So this one, I'm not going to apply my lightener right here. I'm just going to kind of apply it down at the ends. Make sure that's saturated really well. And then I'm just going to kind of bring this up. Now, so the ends are very saturated, and then I feathered up the hair strand. So two things are going to happen. We're going to have very saturated ends, which is going to be lighter and brighter on the ends. And this section right here is going to be very beautifully like infused. It's going to just have a very beautiful like blend up into your natural base. So the way that I'm making sure that this doesn't come up on here, I'm going to fold it once, and then I'm going to fold it twice. Just making sure that I don't get that transfer of lightener from the bottom up on the base, because we'll have a big problem on our hands, right? Okay, you guys, that's just some ways that you can do foiling to help with the bleeders and everything like that. A big question that I always get asked this year is what a tip out is. So after you go through and you lighten the whole hair, if you want to make your color, your like blonding experience lighter and brighter, what you can go in and do, you can use a 20 volume, a 10 volume, depending on how light her ends are. If her ends just kind of look a little dull and you want to, you know, brighten those up, then I just use a 10 volume. If she's working around like a level 6, 7, sorry, I have teenagers. So you just get to choose what developer that you want, right? So a tip out is everything that you don't use, all the hair that you don't use in your foils, like your sectioning, and then you leave some out, your foil, you leave some out. You want to bring that over or back. You want to like over direct it somehow, and you're going to want to tease it. So you can just do a one tease, get that out of the way. So it's just you can see through that. It's just a beautiful tease. And you're going to want to lay that hair onto your foil. Secure it with your lightener. Even when you're teasing, that isn't a perfect cure all for harsh lines. So even if you're teasing, I still want to make sure that I'm feathering into that line of demarcation and things like that. You definitely don't want to get into this tease because that will make it spotty. So make sure you go in, make sure you're fully saturating and blending up into that tease. Rolling the hair back and forth. And that is a tip out, you guys. I'm not a big like folding my foils because when I tend to fold and then you fold it, and let's just show you on this. A lot of people are like, okay, we'll use this one. They'll just fold that. They'll just scrunch the hair in there, like just totally add pressure. What's happening when you do that is you're removing the lightener from that fold. So you don't want to do that. You really want to just keep your corners just beautifully folded so they're not taking the lightener off those corners, because when you pop that foil out, what you're going to have is you're going to have a little band right there. So just make sure you're not getting totally crazy with the foiling. So I wanted to kind of show you what I do to just kind of encapsulate the heat after the section is done. I typically would have done that without a tip out, because you can't really do that with a tip out, but you just fold them all together and you fold it over, you know, so you can work on the next section, because it will get in the way. So you do kind of want to fold it and get out of the way, but I really just want to educate on this middle fold, right? Because we don't want to take the lightener from that, and it could really bum us out, you guys. It just bums us out. I've done it plenty of times, not even thinking about it, you know. So just being aware of your foiling and saving us time and making us more revenue at the end of the day, I think is great. You know, I really think it's beautiful when like the influencers do it, and it is beautiful, but this is the way I do it. There's 1,000 ways to grandma's house. And so, yeah, I don't know what time it is. Sam, how much more time do we have?
About 5 minutes.
Woohoo! Gosh, I'm getting good, baby. Okay, you guys. So I really wanted to talk about a couple like continued education things. So Pravana is really big at continued education. We have a website called pravana.com. On there, we have a lot of 5-minute videos. We call them Get the Looks, where me and my friends, I'm on there. I watched them with a class that I taught the other day. You literally saw me the past 5 years with different hair, like short bob that was red. Oh, it's just crazy. It had like 5 different hairdos. So go on there. They're 5 minutes. Really great at learning our new products, our old products, all of our products. We just kind of give you just a quick tutorial. On there, we also have our color certification. I went and did it. I've always been color certified with Pravana, but we just launched a new color certification. So make sure you go in there and retake that. What I tell all my classes, like my students, is that after you're done taking that, we send you you get emailed a certification. Currently taking it. Heck yeah, Lillian. So we'll send it to you. If you put it in a frame and put it on your desk, your clients see that you're continuing your education, and it's one more thing that's going to add value to you as a hairstylist, knowing that you're certified in the color that you're using and everything like that. We do have a lot of social media. We have TikTok, Instagram. We have an official page on Facebook where you guys can come in, ask questions, post your work, get feedback on something. And then I also always like to talk about the hotline. We do have a hotline. It's 866 Pravana. And if you have ever a problem behind the chair, you can call them. They can help you diagnose it and see, what went wrong along the process. And then I just always like that channel as well. You can always message me at the Blonding Rebel on Instagram. If you have any questions about anything, I'm really good at getting back to people on there. I help a lot of hairstylists throughout the country, and in fact, out and throughout the world on Instagram, on Messenger. And I would love to help you with anything Pravana related. Uh, I'm sure we only have about 3 minutes left. If you guys have a quick question you want me to answer, uh, I kind of hit everything. So I just really enjoy doing this stuff. Could you go over Zero Lift Developer real quick? You bet. So this is our Zero Lift Developer. It's for our deposit only colors. So our Hydro Gloss is our demi-permanent. That's ammonia free. You're going to use Zero Lift with that. You're going to use Zero Lift with our Express Tones, our platinum toners. This is going to be a deposit only. So you're not going to get a bump in that base. You're not going to get any warmth on natural virgin hair. This is going to be your true to, I always like to say true to tone deposit only. It's not going to skiff on some warmth and that you're going to have to cover up. It's literally my OG. I use this with everything. Well, all my ammonia free products. And yeah, that's a Zero Lift. You use it with the express tones and platinum toners, one part color to 1.5 parts developer. So it helps. That's another thing, you guys. I just want to hurry and touch on for those people that do like booth rent, and you guys are paying your thing. You're welcome, Melinda. Thank you for all the great questions. So one more thing before we go. This is a 3-ounce tube of color. We mix our color, 1 part color to 1.5 parts developer, which makes it 7.5 ounces of working color. And I feel like for the amount of amazing color that Pravana is, this is just a really good tool for us that are paying for our color out of pocket. It just helps. It's just a beautiful thing. So you're getting 7.5 ounces of color with this instead of 4 ounces, and it's just really an amazing thing. So anyways, I just want to tell you guys that I love you. I hope that you guys have a great holiday. I know I'm excited to host my friends and family, and I can't wait to see you next time. And you're welcome, Carrie. You're welcome.